It is the eve, it is the time, let's get into it. 28 years later, the Bone Temple, first images and trailer tomorrow. We are on the eve of this trailer that I am going to do a reaction. I'm going to do a breakdown. Someone's going to comment on milking it, and I'm just like, don't watch it. That's all I got to say to you. And by the way, I am a huge fan of 28 Years Later, the film. I know a lot of people didn't like it. You are entitled to your opinion. It is my #1 movie of the year. Clear 5 stars if I still gave ratings, which I don't. But let's talk about The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta, and of course bringing back a ton of favorites from the previous film, including, yes, Samson. Samson is here, the biggest star of the whole film. We'll leave it at that. But let's talk about this movie. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, about 8,000 from that. It is September. We are more than halfway through the year, and I'm trying to get to that 50K, y'all. 50K is the big goal. Let's do it. Let's talk about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and these new images that just look dazzling. We'll also talk about some of the comments that Jack O'Connell, who is playing Sir Jimmy here, had to say, and we'll talk more about what exactly we can expect from this new movie. So one of these images here that I really loved was this film of Jack O'Connell as Jimmy, just walking down with Nia DaCosta. This outfit just screams the Jimmy Savile look. Of course, as we know, Jimmy Savile was a very notorious person in the UK, and we've had Danny Boyle, we've had Alex Garland, they've talked about it. This is Jimmy Savile. There were so many people in my other videos saying, that's not Jimmy Savile, Jimmy. It was, and they confirmed it. We'll leave it at that. Y'all were wrong. It's okay. You can be wrong. But I really do love this whole look of Jack O'Connell because it is so off the wall. When they appeared at the end of 20 Years Later, the whole Jimmy gang, just incredible shift. I really love when a movie just grabs you and it just spins you into a 180, and it's like, this is what we're doing now. This is the damn movie. Take it or leave it, right? And I really love this look right here. We see that Jimmy has become a very different person, right? From when we first met him at the beginning of 20 Years Later, and when he went to see his father at the church, and then eventually got the cross. As you can see, it looks like all his ideas were inverted that day. Of course, very traumatic. Your whole family goes to watch Teletubbies and then gets slaughtered right in front of your face. Yeah, it's gonna change you forever. And of course, why would they go with Jimmy Savile? He is such a despicable character in history. Well, at that time, they wouldn't have known what was gonna be unraveled about Jimmy Savile, right? And so of course, Jimmy Savile was kind of like a comfort to them, just as the Teletubbies, Power Rangers, things we see that they kind of are taking inspiration in the way they dress and act. So if civilization has fallen and they don't know anything else, that's what they're gonna cling on to. They were children at the time. And I think it's something that we've seen also Alex Garland and also Danny Boyle talk about, is this cherry picking of history. So many people like to say, oh, the good old days. Remember that? It's not like today. These kids nowadays, blah, 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 blah. But they cherry pick good moments in that time without acknowledging that things were a lot more bad for a lot of groups back in the day. And of course, who would want to go back to the past to go through those things? And it's kind of like we're saying things are kind of like mixing themselves together with the past now, but it's not as horrible as it used to be. More people have rights now, and people are able to do things more freely and more openly and be themselves as opposed to back in the day. So always looking forward and for a better future. The past is the past, and it can stay like that. So I think that this is definitely something we see here. Jimmy and his gang are cherry picking things in their childhood that sort of brought them comfort and joy. Unbeknownst to them, things are not as great to other people that have realized how despicable of a character Jimmy Savile is, right? So that's one of the interesting pictures right there. Of course, we see the Jimmy gang in another picture here, front and center in the Bone Temple, right in the middle. So I'm curious as to how exactly the Bone Temple is going to be treated here. Jimmy could sort of see it as a mecca, right? This is the epitome of what they're working for, maybe. This is like what they're worshiping themselves. I don't know exactly if they will have a relationship with Ralph Fiennes' character of Dr. Ian Kelson, or if they just come here and try to take it over and sort of conquer it for themselves and see it as this is our manifest destiny. This is where we're supposed to be, right? And sort of drive out Ralph Fiennes' character as well as the infected. We see that they don't have a sort of like connection to the infected or respect that Dr. Ian Kelson has. As we see at the end of the other film, they sort of hunt them as sport and kill them, as opposed to Dr. Kelson, who sees them as just another animal living. People don't go out and just kill lions because lions kill other animals and things like that, right? They sort of observe them and respect them. And that's what you should do as a good human being. You don't just kill living things just because you can. You respect and admire them, right? Because they're living things as well. And I think that that's something we're going to see a big thing happening here. These sort of ideologies of the Jimmies, of Jamie, who's played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Dr. Ian Kelson, of course played by Ralph Fiennes. And I think Spike is going to be the one that's taking all of this information. So that's one of the pictures right there. We'll get more into what exactly I think this movie is going to really address. The other picture here is of Dr. Ian Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes, who is in the bus, as you can see, the bus where we saw that Spike and his mother were in when they found the infected that was pregnant and ultimately gave birth. And I think that this is a very interesting picture because I wonder if this is a flashback or in the present time in the movie. If it's a flashback, it could be Dr. Ian Kelson holding the woman who is pregnant here until she gives birth, maybe trying to aid her and help her. But if it's in the present time, maybe he went back to study how exactly she was able to conceive if she wasn't infected with the rage virus. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about the infected than we've ever known before, which is going to be interesting. The final picture here is of Samson clothed now. So I think it's interesting they got Samson clothed here, and I'm curious to see what's going on here. Could this be a sort of flashback or present time? I'm not sure. He has more scars, it seems. So I want to say that this is more in the present time, but it's interesting. Samson returning here as well. But there are also some comments from Jack O'Connell as well as Nia DaCosta about this film. So what we hear about this whole thing here is Sir Jimmy Crystal, of course, is being played by Jack O'Connell. And I think that Jack O'Connell has really given me a really big push to see this movie even more. Like, I was already seeing it day one, but Jack O'Connell says it's weird. It's the deranged cousin to 28 Years Later, who you might be a bit ashamed of because they have weird, questionable interests. And Nia DaCosta actually echoed this as well by saying keeps the same unique, off-the-wall, surprising energy as 28 Years Later. So I'm seated, I'm there, very excited for this movie. I think we're going to see a lot of things that are going to be just kooky and wacky. We've heard DaCosta say that she added more zombies, she added more locations, and I think that that's going to be a very, very exciting aspect of this movie. And yes, I said zombies. I don't know what you want me to say. They said it in 20 Years Later. That's what everybody's calling them in the outside world. I'm going to call it that. I'm in the outside world. So very excited about this movie. Cannot wait. January 16, 2026. I know January is usually the dumping ground for movies that aren't so good, but I don't know. I feel strongly about it. I think Sony's just a little bit worried that it's not going to do as good as 28 Years Later. That's why they're putting it for January, but I think it's going to do great. I'm excited. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions on this movie. I will be doing a reaction to the trailer tomorrow. I will be doing a breakdown for it, and we will be discussing this as we get more teasers and theories as well as what's to come. So tomorrow, reaction, breakdown, and then on Friday, theory video of what could possibly be going on. So very excited to get into this campaign for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Sony, let me go to the early screening this time, y'all. If you're watching this from Sony, please, y'all didn't let me go last time. But anyways, on a serious note, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. 50,000 subscribers is our goal. We have a website, www.culturalelixir.com, a TikTok and Instagram, all provided down below. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.